morning. Honorable Chair, I rise to report that a quorum does exist for the Standing Committee on Public Petitions to commence business.
Thank you very much. It has been announced that quorum exists for the committee to commence business. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Can somebody move, a member move, that we adopt the agenda with or without amendment?
Honorable Chair, I rise to move we adopt the agenda as it is.
Let me second that. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda as it is. The agenda is hereby adopted. Mr. Hydara. I hope you are not in between us and the witness.
No.
Huh?
No.
Is he seeing us?
Mr. Hydara?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Why don't I use my headphone?
Alhamdulillah.
Very well, alhamdulillah.
You are taking my 1 hour of time.
Yeah, we want to.
Yes, sir.
Now we just want to do some introduction.
Yes, but I'm not seeing you. I can't see you.
You cannot. We are seeing you.
But I'm not seeing you.
I see. This is the problem with IT. So you do the introduction first before you do the swearing.
Yes.
How do you call it?
Vision of both, yes. Statement from the chairperson of the court. Then after your statement.
Then you do the administration.
So are you seeing them?
Yes, I'm seeing you now.
Yeah, okay. Yes, thank you, Mr. Hydara. I am Honorable Swaibu Ture. Yes, I'm also the chairperson of the Public Petitions Committee. Yeah.
I am Halima Tutama. I pledge to the committee. Good afternoon.
Honorable Abdul Kamara is my name and a member of the committee.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Honorable Pat Kejawala, Vice Chair of the committee.
Good afternoon, Honorable.
Hello, good afternoon. Mr. Karusala, SMS to the committee.
Come again, please.
Mr. Karusala, SMS to the committee.
Okay.
Subject matter specialist.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Hydra, for attending to this session. We are grateful, even though you are outside, but you take time to actually attend to us. As you know, we are still dealing with the Gtboard petition that is written to us by the staff, the staff of the Gtboard. So just for you to know that this is a public hearing, and we are going to be online.
All right, sir.
Yeah, and you know, section 125 of the standing orders of the National Assembly states that you know, when a formal complaint comes to the assembly, it should be done in public, and that's why we are holding this thing in public. It is also important to note that this is it's not a witch hunting exercise. It is just to get the facts straight, draw recommendations that will ensure strong and efficient public institutions to serve the citizens and other individuals of the country. We want to assure you that your rights and privileges as a witness are guaranteed and enshrined in the standing orders of the National Assembly. Yes, also standing order 1341 states, every person summoned to give evidence or to produce any paper, book, record or other document before the Assembly or any committee of the Assembly shall be entitled in respect of his or her evidence or the production of such documents to the same privilege as if he or she were appearing before a court. Similarly, 134.3 reads, an answer by a person to a question put by the Assembly shall not be admissible if evidence against him or her in any civil or criminal proceedings outside the Assembly, other than proceedings of perjury brought under the criminal law. So the only thing that will be against you if it is perjury, if it is not true. Therefore, Mr. Hydara, you are expected to speak the truth and not to mislead the committee, contrary to which shall be considered a contempt of the National Assembly. Just to inform you that it's a public hearing, and if you feel that you want to say anything that has security implication, you can always alert us so that we will minus the, how do you call it, the camera. Thank you very much, Mr. Hydara. But before we start, the clerk will conduct administrative oath for affirmation before we proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hydara.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Halimatu once again.
Welcome.
Yes, can we kindly start? Please, your hand. I, Abdoulie Hydara,
I, Abdoulie Hydara,
do affirm that I will speak the truth,
I will speak the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Hydara. We will then commence the session. Can you please explain to us when you became DG of the Gtboard? From what time to what time?
I came Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board on the 1st of April from March 2015 to June 11, 2020.
1st of April 20.
March, is it March or April?
April.
No, he said 2 things. Is it March or April?
1st of
April,
April
exactly, April 2015 to 2020.
2020.
Very much.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Hydara, can you explain to us from 2015 to 2020 what were the key issues that we are dealing with at the Gtboard?
maybe if I'm want to be very clear in terms of protections, we will focus on issues or all other issues related.
Okay, thank you. Was the issue of the contract with construct company part of issues that we dealt with at the time?
Come again, which contract?
The issue of construct company, the contract you had with construction company.
The construction company being which one? Remember, I remember we dealt with construction company and Gtboard, we dealt with the Sundan Act.
Yes.
Which one are you actually referring to? Construction company. Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying, you had a contract with the contract. Your contract committee awarded ecologists to Lair Group. Was that during your period?
Yes, you mean the construction of the open inclusive facilities, which sometimes referred as community-based tourism.
Yes.
With Lair Group?
Yes.
Yes, it was during my time.
Okay. Would you be able to?
Yes.
Can you please explain how that contract went about?
That inclusive upfront facilities is a very long way, and it's a very long narrative.
Yeah.
But I will just fast track some of it because I have observed a lot of changing in orientation from when we started with NEBA. Before we started with NEBA, which was called Homestay. Then it changes to community-based tourism. I've also observed some people are calling it ecologists. So all of these changes. But just to give a quick background, when I came into office in 2015, I inherited the development of a product called Homestay product, which is in Ghana, in the West Coast region. That product came in as a result of a study on a survey when my predecessors went to ITB Bali. The Germans visitors mostly enjoy staying with the locals. So that resulted to us developing a product called Homestay. So when the tourists come to Gambia, particularly the German tourists, they like to go there, live with the locals, do day-to-day activities with the locals, like cooking, fishing, finding firewood, live like locals. So when product was conceived, halfway I came on board. Then we completed the construction of that company. There was that product. But during the process, we had a lot of challenges. And one of the challenges were that the land in which the facilities were built, we built 3 huts in Denmark. Did not belong to Gtboard. It belongs to the family members. So we identified 3 families, but I can remember the Golden family. I'm not sure whether the other was Chapman family and Sani family. The land in which the huts are built are owned by these family members. So obviously there is a problem. And the problem is who owns the facilities? We built it, but in the possession of the landlord. So why I'm saying this is because it poses maintenance challenges. In resort to hiring. Hiring, I don't mean paying, one of the key VDC, Trade Development Community members, who was helping us manage these pots. We also learned during the process that those type of pots were often infested with termites. 2 months, 3 months, if you don't go there, the ceilings and everything been collapsing because of the termites invaded them. So this is the beginning of the conceptualization of this community tourism-based product. Then it was later in 2016, 2017. Then when we have a new government, despite our plans to expand it to other regions, so we wanted to expand the homestay to other regions. But this homestay now turned out to be community-based tourism, because it's built within the communities, we acquire land within the communities, and we build it and own it and manage it together with the participation of the community. This is what brought the idea of CBT, community-based tourism. When the new government came, and we went a tour, and the Honorable Minister saw the concept, they thought we should put it in every region. Then we started scouting for land, discussing with the communities, discussing with alcaldes and governors. I'm just trying to fast track this, but it's a very long story. Yeah. So it ended up being called ecologies, because the areas that we have identified were very suitable for the development of ecologies. But these ecologies would only be ecologies if they have environmental and ecological characteristics. But in Bara, it was different. In Bara, it was not an ecology. Though it could classify as community-based tourism, but Bara is a community. Okay. The concept of Bara is different from the other regions, because Bara was conceptualized as a boutique hotel, simply because in Bara, we all have challenges of accommodation. Because every time that people visit the thing, they cannot cross. And also, Bara was another location where we would want to move to retreats like people are having in Sindora. So we conceptualized Bara as a boutique hotel for 40 rooms. So when we talk about CBTs, ecologies, homestay products, these are what encompass what we want to just people in the changing the nomenclature. But I just want to bring this to your attention that Bara was a very different concept. So when the new government came and they wanted us to spread it all over the country, it becomes a strategy within the board to make sure that it is implemented. Now, you said how it come about. This cannot happen without the real procurement process. And I'm sure you are aware that in every institution it is mandatory to have a procurement committee responsible to deal with procurement. And in the procurement called contracts committee. And in the contracts committee, most often the Director General does not sit in the contract committee. There is a contracts committee who has looked at all the submission, who has evaluated the product, who has now submitted their evaluation and recommendations to the General. So the Director General can advise, but Director General cannot change anything within the contracts committee's recommendation. So when everything is done and set, with all other things that have happened along the way, at the time that the contract was signed for implementation. I'm just fast tracking, but if you ask if there is anything that you want clarity in between, I will be very happy to clarify that. But in a nutshell, the project was conceived, procured, and contract awarded.
So, what you are saying is that you are, as the DG, you were not sitting at the meetings of the contract committee.
No, I don't sit meetings of contract. I only review After they have done the 9 minutes, the chair of the contract committee and the clerk of the secretary contract committee, who of them normally be a procuring officer, finishes and signs the contract and brings to the attention.
So, do you remember the composition of the contracts committee?
Yes.
At your time?
I remember, but it was allowed me that I'm a little bit rusty because I've been out of that place for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit rusty. But try and recollect as much as I can to answer your question.
Yes, please.
I think it was chaired by the Director of Finance and all the directors, the Director of Product Development, Investment and Culture, Director of Quality Control and Teaching, Director of Marketing, the procurement officer, yes, and the Director of Finance, who chairs contract service.
I see. Any questions? Supplementary. And at the time, do you remember who was the chair of the contracts committee?
The Director of Finance, Mr. Abdoulie Hydara.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Mr. Hydara,
Yes.
the 5 ecologies were awarded to one company, Lair Group.
Yes, sir.
And you were aware of that, right?
Very much, yes, sir.
And the information that we received is that the advice from the GPPA, is that the ecologies should be contracted to different companies rather than to one company. But we come to learn that they were all awarded to Lair Group instead of going by the advice of the GPPA.
I don't know if you have, hold on. I don't know if you have a letter from GPPA, reference GPPA/Gtboard/TR2/18/MKD in bracket.
He has the letter.
Is that in the contract? The title.
The title.
The title of the letter is called Construction of Ecologies.
Okay.
I don't know if you have to.
You'll be able to send that to us, isn't it? What you have
Yes,
there?
I can start. Give me either an email or I can send it to WhatsApp from the secretary.
Yes.
Those contact them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
And what is the content of the letter there?
You
Of
want
the
to read it?
document?
Yes, please.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Gambia Public Procurement Authority. Reference PPPA/PTP/TR2/18 in bracket MKD. Address to Director General, Gambia Tourism Board, PO Box 4085, Kogi, dated 24th of September 2019. And the letter says, Dear Sir, reference are the constructions ecologies. He said, we refer to your letter, reference AWB/490/491/01 part 3 in bracket 27, dated 17th of September 2019, subsequent to our letter GTBA, GTB/TR2/18/of 28th of August 2019 on the construction of ecologies. Having incorporated the signed negotiation report and terms of engagement with the consultant, in bracket, Marcus Interim Consultant. Please be informed that approval is granted for the award of contract to their group for the construction of the ecologies, one region of the country, at a negotiated bid price of $19,424,440, only inclusive of 10% contingency and 1% preliminary per ecology. The authority hereby also enjoins you to use an engineering consulting firm to carry out the design, review, and construction supervisions of the ecology in all regions whose contracts have been approved by authority. You are also required to administer Form 041, Record of Supplier Performance Assessment, after the implementation of the contract. We thank you for your understanding and cooperation and avail ourselves for further guidance on your procurement. Yours sincerely, signed, Abdoulie Hydara, for Director General, CC File, R File, and File.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Hydara,
Yes, sir, ma'am.
can you please kindly inform this committee who is the approval authority of the contract?
Of the what?
Approval authority of the contract. Sorry, approving authority of the contract.
Authority of our contracts rested with the contracts committee. But obviously, by virtue of the form, the Director General signs the contract, but he's the head of the institution. So, GPPA approves the contract.
Yes. Yeah.
Mr. Hydara, can you kindly inform this committee who is Abdoulie Hydara?
Ma, with all due respect, I don't know.
You
I'm
don't?
sure he must be an officer or a senior officer at the GPPA, because this letter emanates from the GPPA.
Can you?
Mr. Hydara, you don't know Mr. Abdoulie Hydara?
Personally,
You don't know him personally. How often do you see him at the Gtboard during your time?
I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Hydara or Johannes. I've been sincere. I've never met Mr. Hydara. I know I used to meet two gentlemen when we go to party. But
Okay.
I don't even know the names of those two gentlemen that mentioned. I've just seen him. And the signature of Abdoulie Hydara. I don't know Mr. Hydara personally.
Okay. You have a sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Hydara. Yes, as the then Director General of the Gtboard, and then you are responsible of the entire management of the Gtboard.
Yes.
And I believe the contract committee that was chaired by the then Director of Finance was all under you, if I'm right.
Thank you.
Good. I want to ask, what was your role in awarding this contract?
You know, the rules and guidelines are very clear. The formation of contract committee and the role of contract committee. I told you by virtue of the position of the Director General, when the contracts committee finishes their work, and according to the Gtboard rules and guidelines, the Director General does not interfere with the recommendations of the contracts committee, but an advice. So my role is an advisory role, but when the contracts committee unanimously agree on something and is brought to the table of the attention of the Director General, I endorse.
Yeah, fair enough. But why is it that the Director General is not part of the contract committee?
Gtboard, a contracts committee was already formulated according to the GPPA Act. And the contracts committee up to that time was chaired by the Director of Finance. But I must also say that after the award of this contract and the issues of this contract, I made a halt to the contracts committee momentarily and invited GPPA for a 3 days intensive training for the Gtboard Senior Management and Contracts Committee. Because as Director General, I realized that maybe there were gaps or misconceptions that were not fully understood, i.e. the role of the chair of the Contracts Committee. In that meeting and in that training, after the training, we have come to realize that even the Director General, if he so desires, can be the chair of the Contracts Committee. But prior to that, the Contracts Committee was chaired by the Director of Finance.
Good. Fair enough again, and I think that is a very good evidence that we give to you. But, Mr. Hydara, the reference letter that you just read to us, if I should tell you, there was a prior letter that the committee is reviewed of, which proved the earlier question posed to you by the Honorable Chair that DPPA advised, before the letter that you referenced, they advised that the contracts be given to different contractors. Would you, what is your take on that?
What date was that?
Well, I believe we will make sure we get that reference very correctly and we read the letter to you so that we can make these two comparisons, because there are two communications coming from the GBB, and the earlier was recommending 4 different contractors be awarded the different technologies to be constructed. But again, the letter that you just read to us is giving approval to Lair Group for the construction of the 5 technologies.
I said, I think I went over 3 to 10 at least, and I have looked.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Etienne.
Yes, Mr. Hydara, that one is the GPPA that informed us of that information. That their advice was that the lodges be awarded to different companies instead of one company, so that the work will be fast-tracked rather than giving it to one company, which will delay the whole process. But we'll get back to you on that. Now, Mr. Hydara, also, we are informed that the contractor promised to do the works before payment. That is the pre-finance. But we come to learn that there was an advance payment to the contractor. Were you aware of that?
I lost the feeling of your person. I don't just want to say contractor and this before.
What was the original agreement with the contractor? Was it not pre-finance? For the contractor to pre-finance and then be paid later? Do we have that?
Yes.
Yes.
As far as my knowledge and I can recall it,
Yeah.
there And that pre-financing, if that is the definition that people are using, does not mean we will do the work and the pay us. It's pre-financing. Now, what we have agreed was, Gtboard will put a seed money in the initial payment of 40 initial payment. And this initial payment, 38, this initial, the air group will bring the other 40% will be up to 60%. And how this work was, these were in phases, in lots. In lot 1 is Bala, Pickling Forest, and Sotuma Sankoi. This is phase 1. This phase, Gtboard 40% will use this pre-financing, and any kind of financing, the contract will be, but Gtboard will not put any more money into the project until the contractor finishes this phase and hands over the deed. The Gtboard will pay the other percentage of the agreement. I'm talking about, I don't know but it was in phases. Each phase, the contractor will fund 30%, 60%. Gtboard only comes with 40%. This 40% must take care of the whole lot 1. When lot 1 finishes and the contractor hands over the key, then Gtboard comes back with financing. This is the agreement. But not that the contractor will build to finish, the Gtboard will go. That initial payment was our seed money for this project. And we will not have paid any other money until the contractor executes lot 1, hands over the key to Gtboard, and then we go to the next phase. That's financing arrangement.
Okay. So your understanding is that pre-finance in that contract means that the contractor will be advanced 40% of the total, and then after the contract, after he has done the work, then the rest of the money will be paid.
Yes.
That's your understanding.
No, that is the understanding. The understanding is the contractor after we pay our initial seed money.
Yes.
The contractor must come with 60%.
60.
To finish the work.
60%.
60.
Okay.
Yes, we only paid 40%. So the contractor must finance the project, the balance, the gap of the project. But Gtboard will not pay the contractor until the contractor finishes lot 1, hands over the key, and we move to lot 2. This is the arrangement. This was the arrangement as far as I understand.
Okay. You have it?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
If you have a copy of the contract, you can go through the contract. You will see how the lots were divided. And the agreed payment.
Yes, please.
Mr. Hydara, have your office received any complaint from the Director of Product Development, Mr. Fati, that his department was not satisfied with the whole bidding process and the awarding of contract to one contractor group?
Yes, I received an informal complaint from Land. Land was my very good staff, whom I really trusted, and I trusted his judgment. Most often, I and Land discuss a lot of things where I seek opinion from him. I sent him to Germany. Don't do this NDA. Then, once the contract was ongoing, when the contract was awarded, he was in that way. He come to me and said, DG, I think we should look at this contract. I think the price quotation was too high. And he was not happy about it. I said to Gary, is that so? He said, yes. Okay. I advice, I wrote, when we already signed the contract, I wrote to their group to suspend the contract until I finish my internal review. Unfortunately, Lamin left 3 days or 5 days after back to Germany. So I did not have somebody that I could have been able to do my internal review. But he introduced me with a guy. But to be honest with you, I cannot remember his name, but he's from the camp. When Lamin left, I did not hear from this guy for 5 days or more. While Lamin was in Germany, I called him. I said, "Lamin, this guy introduced me. I did not see him. He took my documents to review." Then he said, "Okay, you contact me." You contact, I said 2 days or so. I don't remember the dates, I'll be honest. The young man came back to my office with the documents and said to me that, "Mr. Hydara, with all due respect, I have checked, but what Mr. Sahrani has done, the consultant, you cannot get better than that. I think," he said, and he said it, "I myself, I was trained by Sahrani." And I think he has done a very good job. I'm saying this, but I can't remember the doctor's name. But Lamin has already left Germany. I said, "Okay, then that's fine." But up to this time, I did not write there to proceed. Because I needed to have more information about what Lamin's strategies were. And this query was that the contract, it thinks the price provision was too high. The only option I had was to call back my compliment. I said, to review the whole process up to this signing of the contract. But actually to also review this contract, then it should not also advise the DG. I think everything else is in place and it is we are good to go. I did not sign, I delayed because I still wanted to do my further investigation to see if I have seen anything contrary. I even went back to the contracts committee meeting. I don't know if you see, if you have it, I have from the 3 here, from A to Z.
Okay.
You see these documents? These are the minutes. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
These are the minutes of the contracts committee.
Yeah.
To the point of the evaluation of the contracts and the awards of the contract.
Okay.
But in this minutes and evaluation of the contract, all the contracts committee unanimously agreed that there was the most responsibility. So after reading all this, I said that there is no time to waste because at that time, we were on somehow the degree of pressure. Because this contract was like publicized, and they have advised at that time to the ministry that when the president was going to meet the people's tour, was going a countrywide tour. And this contract was part of the laying of our nation's stones. That is the bad. So that was not for the time. I think I have exhausted my internal review and my investigation. That's why I could. But it is very true that Lamin brought to my attention. But Lamin who brought it to my attention unfortunately left to Germany. And I was left with doing the review on my own report. There was nobody going back to the contract committee to ask me the decision already, to ask if your decisions were fair or not fair. But in all honesty, after all my internal review, the contract went into that there was no response.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hydara, once again, Honorable Kamal. Before me, I have here communications from the Gambia Public Procurement Authority, that's GPPA. These are the documents that I was referring to earlier. I'll just briefly go through them one by one up to the last one. There are 5 documents. The first one, which was, it was dated this one, title is request for approval, that's a reply to request for approval for the construction of 5 eco-lodges. This was dated on the 21st December 2018. And the contents read 2018. The content read as follows. We refer to your letter AWG 22/145/01 dated 14 December 2018 relative to the above subject matter. After careful study of your submission, the authority regrets to inform you that approval cannot be granted at this stage due to some incomplete documentations highlighted below. You are also advised to divide the construction of the 5 eco-lodges into lots and restrict each lot to only one contractor in order to enhance timely completion of the project. Furthermore, you are also required to resubmit the following documents to the authority in your submission. And then they read as 1, 2, 3. 1, bill of quantities and specification and so on. 2, reconcile the bid opening date and deadline of submission. Then 3, evaluation criteria, page 17, the accurate payment terms, 20%, 40%, 35%, and 5% retention. So that's the first letter. This is the one I was referring to. Then subsequently, there was a communication from GPPA that was dated on the 9th January 2019. The reference letter is GPPA Gtboard TR2/18, and it was addressed to the Director General of Gtboard. And then it is a reply to request for approval for construction of 5 eco-lodges. Again, they said to refer to your letter AWG 22/404/01 in bracket 03 dated 4 January 2019 relative to the above subject matter. Having incorporated the bill of quantities and updated the bidding document to our recommendation, that is in bracket missing document information highlighted in our previous letter reference, that's the letter I just read previously, and it was dated on the 21st December. I hereby convey to you the authority approval of your bidding document for the construction of 5 eco-lodges in all the 5 regions of the country. Finally, then the remaining of the 60% is as the law requires. And then this was signed by Jamila Odu. Then the other letter also from GPPA. I'm doing this just to make sure you follow the sequencing of the letters as they come from GPPA to Gtboard for us to be on the same wavelength. This letter is dated 25th March 2019, and then the reference is GPPA GTB/TR2/18 addressed to the Director General of Gtboard. And here it is saying reconstruction of eco-lodges. We refer to your letter AWG 22/404/01 in bracket 05 dated 18 March 2019 relating to this above subject matter. Following the review of your submission, please be informed that the authority hereby grant you approval to proceed with the price negotiation with Lair Group. You are hereby referred to Regulation 71 in bracket 2G of GBPR 2003 in case needed. Given that the evaluation did not involve the services of independent engineering firms, it is recommended that this be included in the next phase, that's the negotiation phase, to ensure that the requirements are clearly determined. And then he said also, you are also therefore obliged to provide us with the minutes of the negotiation outcome for our final consideration. And reminded that 60%, that is 18 million of the sale, 18,000 of the sale of bidding documents shall be paid to the authority. And this was signed by the Mokija. Then the next letter, second to last now, just behind me please, Mr. Hydara. And this was dated on the 28th August 2019. And the reference is GPPA/GTB/TR2/18 addressed to the Director General of Gtboard. And then the title is Construction of Eco-Lodges Steel. We refer to your letter reference AWG 22/404/01 in bracket 12 dated 14 August 2019. Subsequent to our letter GPPA GTB TR2/18 of 25th March 2019 on the construction of eco-lodges. The authority knows that the draft negotiation report from Mahfouz Engineering Consultants which is not only unsigned, but the terms of engagement of Mahfouz Engineer is also not provided to the authority. We therefore request the provision of the engagement terms of Mahfouz with finalized negotiation report signed off. We thank you for your understanding and cooperation and avail ourselves for further guidance. So the last letter, then that is the one that you read to the committee, if I am correct, that is dated on the 24th September 2019. And the reference is GPA/GTB/TR2/18 in bracket MKJ. Addressed to the Director General Gtboard. This is where it is saying construction of ecologists, and then it says we refer to your letter, reference AWG 4/490/491/01 part 3 in bracket 27 dated 17 September 2019. Subsequent to our letter GPA/GTB/TR2/18 of 28 August 2019 on the construction of ecologists. Having incorporated the signed negotiation report and terms of engagement with the consultant, Mahfouz consultant, please be informed that approval is granted for the award of contracts to label for the construction of 5 ecologists, 1 per region of the country at a negotiated price of $19.4 million, inclusive of 10% contingency and 1% preliminary per ecology. So all is inclusive. The authority hereby also enjoins you to use an engineering consulting firm to carry out the design review and consultants provisions of the ecologies in all regions whose contracts shall be approved by the authority. You are also required to administer Form 041, that is record supply performance assessment after implementation of the contract. We thank you for your understanding. So all this is just giving us facts. GBBA have been in close contact with the authority, and then they have evidence of all the advices they are giving. But looking at the contract document and the pricing, and then how it was awarded to only one contractor, though we got the approval from GBBA. So that's what is definitely confusing the committee as far as we are concerned. And I think you are in the best position to help us understand the genesis behind all this, Honorable Director.
I think if you go by the last letter I read to you with your last letter, the information there is very clear and crystal as to the DPP's approval. And we acted based on this letter we were given the 24th of September 2019.
Yes, that is the final approval. You are correct. You are correct on that. I mean, you are correct on that. That is the final approval. That is the letter dated 24th September 2019.
Yes, Mr. Hydara, our major concern is how did the decision change? Because we believe that if the GPPA advise something, then the contract committees should go by the advice. But then they instead went by their own decision, different from the GPPA. Yes.
I do not see as for the boss that I have any deviation in terms of the advice in terms of the contractual execution of the contract. But I am saying here is there are lots of advice from GPPA from letters that were responded as the Honorable Gentleman has said. But what comes to mind and what I see and the award of this contract was the award of the contract where stood as back. If you look at the evaluation of the I don't think there are copies of the evaluation of the contract committee and their individual stores. I don't think you have copies of that. I have copies of that. The whole evaluation was based on the award of the contract, and the award of the contract goes to the contractor and the name of layer. And it is all the And all other relevant documentation dealing with the whole of this contract is what is submitted to the GPPA. And it is GPPA that has the final approval for the award of the contract.
Yeah.
And this is the letter came from GPPA.
Yeah.
I cannot speak for GPPA, but this is my clear understanding as the record that this is the final approval coming from GPPA leading to the signing of the contract.
Now, let's move on. Mr. Hydara, the first payment to the contractor, do you remember the first payment of the contractor? How much was paid to the contractor?
I think that's a good rule. Because according to the contract, it was I think it was about, if my memory serves me right, it was $38 million, it's 40% of 90 million.
38 million. Was it 38.5 million?
38? I don't think I have the receipts here with me, but
Yeah.
40% of that one was paid.
40%. So my question there is that this 38.5 or 38 million that was advanced, whether that has passed through audit before the payment, has it passed through audit in your memory?
But we pre-audit, post-audit. But I'm still a Gtboard. I left shortly after this contract was signed, but I want to believe that the Gtboard accounts must have been audited from 2019 to date. So it must have been audited.
Yes. I don't know if you would remember the situation at Bara, because the contractor also developed or started to develop another construction there different from the ecologies. Were you aware of that? How did that come about?
I don't quite understand the question, but if they say the contractor built something different, and I have not seen what the contractor has built, or have privy information what has changed, it's difficult for me to answer. But what I can tell you, when I was Director General and asked our agreement with the contractor and asked the contract, Bara was completely different from all the other ecologies. Because Bara was not an ecology. Bara was supposed to be a boutique hotel with 40 rooms and other facilities. So Bara was not supposed to be an ecology. I don't know if you have seen this. I don't know if you have seen this.
Bara was not supposed to be an ecology in the contract.
Boutique hotel of 40 rooms. Have you seen this?
Because
This is designed for Bara.
you know, the information we have is that Bara is an ecology, but then there is another additional work given to the contractor, which is not part of the original contract.
Honorable Chair,
You are not aware of that?
I'm not aware of that because I've been away for 2.5 years now. But what I do understand and what I do know was Bala was completely not an equivalent. Bala was supposed to be a boutique hotel of 40 rooms. In that boutique hotel, the Gambia Tourism Board does not even do the investment. The Gambia Tourism Board does not focus in the 1 minute solution. Bar was supposed to be a boutique hotel. The land in Bar is not owned by Gtboard, but the land in Bar is owned by National Center for Arts and Culture, NCAC. Yeah? Which resulted to Gambia Tourism Board and NCAC entering into the framework agreement. So now, Bar, the concept of Bar is completely different. I was just trying to obtain you a copy of the framework agreement that was drafted between us and NCAC. This is the framework agreement. Because the land in Bara is owned by the National Center for Arts and Culture. The land was meant to be leased to Gambia Tourism Board for 50 years later. I am saying this because the features of the Bara project is completely different from the feature of the other economies. Bara was supposed to have boutiques, and one of the boutiques was supposed to be given to the Bara PDC to support in their cash flow for community development. One of the boutiques was supposed to go to the National Center for Arts and Culture for display of their point of sale display franchise in support of Fortune. Then the other boutique was for Gtboard. What we agreed for Bara was the Bara Gtboard would take 70% of revenue, 25% would go to NCAC because they bought the land, 5% would go to the community. So Bara could not have been the same with the other economies. As far as I know. I don't know what has changed over time, but this was the concept of Bara.
Mr. Hydara, can you please scan that document and send it to us also, together with the rest?
The framework agreement?
Yeah, the one you are just reading, the framework one. Which involves
But
the
I
NCA.
did not have what I have here was the draft I signed, but I will send it to you, but I'm still at the Gtboard, they must have the color copy.
Yes, please. Now, can we move to the complex?
Complex.
Okay. Mr. Hydara,
Yes, sir.
let's move to the company, Kaijan Holding Group. Kaijan, yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain the issues surrounding Kaijan in relation to their investment?
Kaijan was an foreign investment, FDI, that visited the offices of the Gambia Tourism Board with their lawyer, Mr. Smith and when they visited us, we discussed and we had a very good work. And the project was supposed to be a $15 million project. But we asked them to submit their project proposal. When they submitted their project proposal, we appraised the project. I don't know if you ever come across a form like this.
Yeah.
This is an appraisal template,
Okay.
which I developed with the team when I was with Director General. Simply because sometimes the project documents that comes in are very big and very minimal. And most of the time, the Director General will not be able to go from one place to another. But we developed a technical team, a very good team that will look at projects, appraise the projects, summarize the project into an appraisal team. And in this appraisal form, it will contain the name of the company team number, the date of application, the date that all the information were submitted, the business activity of the company, the planned capacity of the company, the location in which the company will be allocated, the proposed project investment. It would also include the name of the shareholders, what are the contact date. It should give a brief description of what the project is all about, and it will also tell you the funding of the project, whether it is paid for, or is it on equity, or is it on loan. Then it will give the breakdown of the people who are employed and having of them. So this is recent when I was there, I developed this is what comes to the desk of the Director General. So now, when Kaigan came, we appraised the project. The project is a very good project. It has two phases. The first phase of the project would have, I'm trying to look at if I have guidance appraisal. Just give me 1 minute, then we just come on to my topic. What I have so far here. But if I cannot find it, I'll just get you as my memory requires.
Yeah.
Yes. I have it somewhere. I can even share it now with everyone soon. Now, when we appraise Kaigan, Kaigan is supposed to pay a development levy of 750,000 USD, which is equivalent to 5%. 5% of the economic market. Now, when we go to Kaigan, after the president to inform them and to make up the payments for us to allocate the project, I think they realized, according to them, that the $750,000 was big and was high for investment of that region. Because Kaigan was a big project. They approached, they wrote to us that to reduce the development levy, I don't have a capacity, I don't have the authority at that general. That development levy is a cabinet approval. And there's no way that the Director General, I can sit in my office and give a concession or a discretion to reduce that investment deposit of 5%. A company, I cannot do it, but I don't have the authority. I think having realized that, they went to the higher office, the office of the minister. But the minister to bring the Gambia Tourism Board to reduce the investment levy to the 5% levy. When I got a call from the Honorable Minister, I make the Honorable Minister know that I don't have that discretion, I don't have that authority to reduce the investment development levy. Because the levy is approved by cabinet. So if it was approved by cabinet, as a Director General, I cannot give them concession for administration. I think they went back to the Honorable Minister's office. Then after a period of time, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, I cannot remember the dates, I received a letter. But Honorable Schreiber, I must tell you that I don't have a copy of that letter here. I've sent for it. When I was leaving my office, I could not take most of my documents. This one I have here is what I wanted to take. But that letter came in around the 7th or 8th of June. And I left office on the 11th of June. we received a letter signed by the Honorable Minister, I think to the board chairman, because I said it was right to the board chairman, for us to reduce the levy from 5% to 2%. I responded to that letter, putting all the, I don't remember my exact word, putting all the relevant references of the letter and to the chairman of the board to comply with the minister's time. That's how TDA levy was reduced from 5% to 2%.
I see. So, did you, your response, the letter you wrote in response, do you have that letter?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate, I was asked to leave immediately.
Yeah.
I received my, was going to work, I got a call around 9 o'clock from the permanent secretary of the minister, PLO, that I have a letter at this office. I said, okay, I was going to my office. I said, okay, I'll come back, I'll come back. He said, no. Mr. Hydara, it's very urgent. Oh, okay, I told him to, and they straight to Banjul. When I got to Banjul, the PS was not on scene. But the secretary asked me to sit and look. In short time, the permanent secretary, Mr. Jawara, walked into the office and I sat down. Then at the time I realized that my letter was just written and handed over the sign and give it to me. That's a hand over to Abdoulie Hydara with immediate effect. I went straight to my office and complied, and then I left the office, but I could not take, for 5 years of filing. I couldn't call that filing, but see, when I was able to have all these files, I was able to take. The next day when I did my office, the locks and everything was changed. So I did not have a copy of the letter that Peter wrote, and I didn't have a copy of my response, but I'm sure it's there in the file. So that's how it happened. So the letters I don't have, simply because I may have left them behind, or I might have filed them somewhere that I cannot see right now. But if I lay hands on them, I will definitely include it in the list of documents and send it, but I don't have them right now.
Thank you very much. So is it the Kaijang that went to the minister, or is it you who forwarded the request of Kaijang to the minister?
Well, I was not willing to battle with 3% because I would not have asked them to do that because I needed that money at the time.
Yeah.
Because that time COVID was in. I've already signed contracts with Mayor. Yeah. I know I was making money to run my obligations. So I needed the money. Because 3% of 5%, I have lost $450,000.
Yeah.
They paid $300,000. Now they say $50,000. So I would never have asked them for the lease. But I need the money.
So if I tell you that that because a particular company is investing $50 million, which is very high, then they are justified to have their levy reduced. What would you say to that?
It depends at what time we ask this question.
Yeah.
If you ask these questions, I have two answers to you on them. One, if I want to type in general, I will look in the interest of my institution first.
Yeah.
I will not be pleased to reduce because I needed that money at that time. But in hindsight, given we would have entered into a public-private partnership.
I see.
And give a 20% equity. That was the possibility.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because one would have thought that even if you are going to reduce it, maybe you can reduce 2% instead of reducing 3% out of 5%, because that is more than half. What is reduced is more than what is left.
I'm sorry, you are giving me expression that I do not have. I don't have that expression when I was there. That was a cabinet approval.
Yeah.
The minister sits in cabinet. It's the highest approval authority. As Attorney General, I was not privileged to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the authority to do that.
Yeah, so the 5% levy, is it the cabinet approval or is it the Gtboard Act that stipulates that?
No, no. Hold on. In 20, just hold on, let me refer to my document. Are you with me, Honorable? Are you with me?
Honorable.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Are you with me? This levy was initially 10%.
10%.
When we 10%, initially was 10%.
Okay.
And we started in 2017, approved by cabinet.
Yeah. Okay.
But along the way, when we started, there was an interim period of time that investments in tourism industry was critical, but all the lands were leased to the former president. So we were in dire need of further growth. So now, investors complain that the 10% was too high for the value of their investment.
Yeah.
The 10% of, let's say, 15 million is 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Now, and they complained to the offices of the Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister called us to a meeting, and we informed him that as board, we cannot change that because it came from cabinet approval.
Yeah.
So they went back to cabinet, and cabinet at sitting of I think 12th of July 2018 revised it to 5%. So the cabinet papers.
2018.
This was communicated to us and the board by the night of Friday.
Did you say 2018?
12.
4th of July 2018.
12th of July
12.
2018, yes.
12 of
12th of July. 12th of July. Okay.
So this was communicated to us 9th of August 2018 for implementation.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
So by virtue of this cabinet approval, the Director General does not have discretion
Yeah.
to reduce it. But if I had the discretion to reduce it, given the value of the investment and the consideration of the project is a very, very good project, I must say this. I would have been considered to attract the investor, because sometimes you are not only looking at the immediate level. There are other positive, qualitative, and quantitative benefits to government, to society, to Gambians that have been levied and go to Gambia Tourism Board. So, in consideration of the cumulative benefits of the project to consider, I may have considered that, but I don't have discretion, so I could have considered it.
Yes, okay. I think that is clear. It's just perturbing us because if all the investors are paying 5%, all of a sudden a particular investor comes and then his levy is reduced to 2%. There is something that's not very telling.
That is a authority.
Yeah.
So I will not be in a position to speak on that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. You have any supplement? So, Mr. Hydara, during your time as well, you were dealing with priority liaison group. Yes, liaison group.
I may have, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, but what can you tell us about that one?
You see, so some of this information written to me when I left office.
What do you know about the priority liaison group? That's the one that was represented by one Mrs. Fatou Juka Jaban.
Oh, yes.
Yes. What did you remember about them?
Well, I know that the current government is a country, and she is entitled to apply for land for investment as far as she can meet up with the conditions of the application, and she has the facility. So we do not treat her otherwise. We treat her as an investor like any other investor. It's fine. The information that reaching me is the mother of the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture at the time.
Yes, because the issue is that despite her investment, what she was supposed to pay for the 5% levy happens to be on the lower side if you do the calculation. Because the investment was something like 27.5 million. But she paid only 1,375,000. So it appears that too is.
Is there a balance that she was supposed to settle, or was there another receipt that was paid that is not paid to everyone? I will not remember, and I know my mathematics is not very good. I know that for sure, but I know 27 million, 5% of the translate 1 million. That's something I would also want to review if I have opportunity, if I was the approving of it.
Yeah, because this company wants to build a 5-star hotel. And
5-star hotel.
yes. And it looks like that investment is just 27.5, which appears to be too small for a 5-star hotel. So
27 million to build a 5-star.
yes. made $27 million to build a 5-star hotel.
We are building a 40-rooms bar.
Yeah.
40-rooms bar of boutique hotel of 4-star. You see, it depends on a lot of other factors. On this one.
Yeah.
Because you cannot just look at a hotel and tell me this hotel is built on 10,000, 15,000, 25,000, unless you see the investment proposals and the building plan. You see, otherwise it becomes a speculation.
Yeah.
My 4-star hotel, 4-star in Alaska, looking at all everything at contract, which would have been costed higher. But no, because Bali is at a close proximity to BANJUL. The road is good, movements of plants and equipment and building here would be far lesser. So $27 million is a big small amount of money. It depends on the route. It depends the size. There are hotels operated in the Gambia. They are built on 5-star, but operating on 4-star. So I really cannot honestly tell you, in my honest opinion, that the 27 million would not have built a 5-star, depending on a lot of factors.
Okay.
But if the investment, if the TVA levy they pay is 1 million, that needs to be revisited. But that does not correspond to 5% of municipal unit. I will get to the far on that.
If I tell you that the 1.3 million that was paid was just paid for phase 1, and then phase 2 and phase 3 were to come, what would you say?
I'm not aware.
Huh?
I don't think I am aware of that.
The amount that was paid, was it just meant for phase 1 of the investment, or is it for all the phases?
That project, I'm sorry, unfortunately, Honorable Soyo, I don't have the appraisal seat of that project in front of me.
Yeah.
But that project was not supposed to be phases. It's a project of a project value of this much, and this is how we do it. Today, the 5% deposit are levy, non-refundable. Because, Honorable Soyo, you need to understand that in the past, there are a lot of speculations on land.
Yeah.
People, before there was nothing like this levy was a deposit refundable, provided the investor comes in with a proof money. And that proof of funding used to be bank letter. And most of if you review the past, they used to submit letters of comfort, but not committed. So the levy came in as a payment of non-refundable. And the ideology behind that is for any investor to pay in 5% of their investment value is a serious investment. Nobody wants to lose 5% of 127 million if they have speculation. Because the approval that's given is on timeline. If you don't need it, the land is revoked. Okay. So it's not forever. So I think if it was the phases, let me have escaped my memory. I may want to look at it again if I don't want to sign it. But as far as my memory recollects, it was not in phases, it's a one-off one.
Can you repeat that again, your last sentence?
I said, if my memory recollects,
Yes.
the Gtboard project
Yes.
was not supposed to be in phases. It's a project to build that 5-star hotel with that investment value that was appraised and give a provisional allocation until other conditions are met. So it was not, as far as my memory recalls, in phases.
Okay, Mr. Hydara, unless anyone has any supplementary, you can. Yeah. We can close the quoting here and we implore on Mr. Hydara to send us all the documents that you've highlighted or discussed with us as soon as that is possible. Yeah. You have, yeah, thank you. So we thank you, Mr. Yeah?
Can I say that, Mr. Bach, can I send it to your WhatsApp?
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Hydara. Thank you. Yeah. All those documents have been discussed.
Okay.
You've cited, huh? Yeah. Thank you for your time.
I will send anything else to me. I have set of documents.
Yeah.
I'll see you in the
Okay.
so I can present it to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you too.